Greetings from the Whole Elephant Institute. Today is May the 10th, 2021, and we're gonna start our community outreach here in our neighborhood, and our school district is 25. We have two public schools here. One is PS 21, the other is PS 185. PS 21 is elementary school, and PS 125 is middle school. And the open field over there is for Flushing High. So in this neighborhood, within the walking distance of 15 minutes, we have three schools, from elementary to middle school and all the way to high school. So the Whole Elephant Institute main office has been located in this school district for the preparation of the opening of the Whole Elephant Chinese Charter School. And we've been doing community outreach ever since the office is established in this neighborhood back in the year of early spring of 2015. So this is our 6 years of community outreach. And the application for the charter has officially started this year from the Charter School Office of Department of Education of New York State, DOE Charter School Office. So this is the year of 2021, and the year we started to apply for this charter school was 2012. And so 2012, around this time, the idea of the Whole Elephant Chinese Charter School was born in Flushing, and it was matured on the island, the Staten Island, and over 100-page application was completed on Staten Island and submitted the end of June, and the first month of July was interviewed, and we were actually chosen among the 78 applicants. One of the 28 applicants was considered to be complete of our application. But as soon as the media started to report us, the first report came out, and the next day, our application was taken out from the 28 applicants, and we were not notified. We were not, subject to any inquiry, and basically, I was the one that had to call in to find out what was the reason that our application was suddenly dismissed, and it was taken away from the website for public review. And so the charter school office of DOE, the director, his name is Mr. Cliff Chun, and he was hesitant in answering the phone, and eventually he did, and he apparently was very nervous. And the excuse that he actually presented to me was that because they suddenly realized that our application was not complete, was no longer complete after the media reported us. And why it was no longer completed, they checked the full application and tried to find the problems, and they found one, which is the 5 founding board member supposed to have signatures, and they noticed that there was not a complete signature for 4 of us, including myself. The signature was not complete according to the requirement. And why was that? Well, first of all, from my side, I was actually wandering between Flushing and Staten Island during those period of time, and had no office, had no computer, had no printer, had no high-tech for that kind of documents to be filled and completed as required. It's that difficult. I was a subject of hate propaganda of the Chinese Communist Party, and the hate propaganda was always targeted towards Falun Gong. But when the mainstream media of America repeat the hate propaganda, and some of the so-called leading anti-cult experts, like Dr. Margaret Singer, she actually was recruited by the Chinese Communist Party to spread hate propaganda with the status of a scholar, with a leading scholar of anti-cult. And she was working with at the time called the American Family Foundation. I think now they called it some kind of like cultic studies, Association for Cultic Studies or something, because the American Family Foundation at the time was totally brainwashed by the Chinese Communist government's hate propaganda about Falun Gong, and they basically became the mouthpiece and the tool of hate propaganda, spreading machinery towards the mainstream American scholars, especially in the field of psychology. And so they actually, under the name of so-called American Family Foundation is anti-cult, they try to help the family not to be broken, and to protect the children, and to protect the family. But what they did actually was target the Falun Gong practitioner's spouse. Over 50 families were the target of Dr. Margaret Singer, so-called Dr. Margaret Singer, anti-cult expert, and to convince the spouse of the Falun Gong practitioners that their spouses were practicing evil cult, as stated by the Chinese Communist government. And because of that, the time Dr. Tang Wenwang, the founder of the Whole Elephant Institute, her husband, Mr. Alan Genitosio, started to attend those conferences hosted by the American Family Foundation. And in Seattle, Washington, they had a big-time conference in 2001. And Mr. Alan Genitosio was totally brainwashed with hate propaganda. And he started the trouble, and he started to gradually take Noah from Dr. Tang Wenwang, and to prevent Noah spending time with Dr. Tang Wenwang every time when Dr. Tang Wenwang was ready to spend some time with Noah. Dr. Tang Wenwang was a principal investigator at the Virginia Mason Research Center. And Virginia Mason Research Center later was changed the name into Benaroya Research Institute. Benaroya Research Institute, the director's name is Dr. Gerald Nippon. And Dr. Gerald Nippon was from Harvard Medical School, and he's an MD and a PhD. And in 1999, when Dr. Tang Wenwang was actually being recruited by the Chinese Communist government, and one of the top 100 overseas scientists to be recruited to return to China to run the national laboratory. At the time, Dr. Tang Wenwang actually, her heart was filled with patriotic thinking, and after she became very successful in America, her heart truly was very, very much wanted to share the accomplishment in her life with all the wonderful people inside of China. And there she has her beloved parents, her beloved classmates throughout grade school, middle school, high school, and college, and all the wonderful teachers that she's so grateful to, all the wonderful work that they did to help her to become a scholar eventually. And so, yes, she accepted that offer, and forgetting the true nature of the Chinese Communist Party, and the true reason why she initially wanted to leave mainland China at the age of 21 to come to America to pursue the graduate study with a goal to find a cure of cancer. So 1999, Dr. Tong Wang decided to relocate her laboratory from Harvard Medical School first to West Coast, and to also explore into the cancer immunology field, and therefore identified University of Washington Department of Immunology as her #1 choice. After she was given 7 offers of different institutions, she chose Seattle, Washington, and Virginia Mason Research Center. And later, that center actually was changed to the name of Benaroya Research Institute. Okay. So the hate propaganda from the Chinese Communist government targeted the governor of Washington State, Mr. Gary Locke, at the time. And even back in the year of 1999, that was the first year when Dr. Tong Wang landed her laboratory in Benaroya Research Institute, University of Washington Department of Immunology. That first year, that first September, Gary Locke already worked for the Chinese government and to persuade the mayor of city of Seattle to withdraw a proclamation that was already issued to the Falun Gong practitioners who were preparing for the Falun Dafa Experience Sharing Conference in Seattle. Okay. So throughout the years between 1999 to the year of 2004, when Dr. Tong Wang's lab was forcibly shut down due to Gary Locke followed the order of the Chinese Communist government persecutors called the 610 office. That 610 office actually was established by the head of the Chinese Communist Party, then Jiang Zemin, and was established fully for persecution of Falun Gong practitioners. And the order by the Jiang Zemin was to ruin their name, to make them financially bankrupt, and then eventually eliminate them physically. And Jiang Zemin carried out the persecution towards Falun Gong practitioners on July 20th, 1999, officially. Prior to that, he already did a lot of evil doings to the Falun Gong practitioners, but on that day, he officially ordered the entire machinery of the Communist China to persecute Falun Gong practitioners nationwide, and labeled the practice as evil cult. Falun Gong practice is an ancient cultivation practice of mind, body, and spirit. And in China was first spread on May 13th, 1992 by Mr. Li Hongzhi to the Chinese people. And actually the entire spread of the Falun Gong, Falun Dafa in China was purely by people heart to heart, one to another, purely based upon their personal experience of the amazing benefit of mind, body, and spirit that each practitioner validated. And so from 1992, May 13th, to the day before the persecution was ordered by Jiang Zemin, the practice actually was spread to over 100 million Chinese people. And the scientific community in mainland China, as a matter of fact, the scientific community actually they did the research. They tried a different approach to study this interesting Qigong phenomena that's called a Qigong. So at the time, the scientists they actually detected incredible energy field associated with the Falun Gong practice. And the health benefit part actually was carried out by doing large-scale health survey in Beijing and Dalian. Over 30,000 practitioners were given, the answer sheets and allowed them to present their experience of health benefits, and also in terms of healing from system level diseases such as heart disease, high blood pressure, cancer, autoimmune disease like rheumatoid arthritis, and also diabetes, and also neurodegenerative diseases. All these diseases in the frontier life science field internationally, they are now called the system level diseases. And these diseases are all associated with stress. When people are overly stressed, people start to be sick. And they start to develop system level diseases. And because of stress-induced problem, there is no particular defect of a gene. It is basically a system level breakdown. So there is no kind of single molecular medicine, what we now call molecular medicine, the pharmaceutical drugs can cure these health problems. So every year, American tax dollars, 1/4 of American tax dollars are devoted to develop molecular medicine. And still, with all the brilliant minds of all the international team of the most frontier life science researchers, including Dr. Tong Wen Wang at the time as one of the leaders in the frontier cancer research field. And everyone in that field was very clear that cancer cannot be cured based upon molecular medicine. Okay. So, the incredible health benefit associated with the practice of Falun Gong, Falun Dafa, as a matter of fact, if it's not because of the persecution started in 1999 on July 20th by Jiang Zemin, the international scientific community and many excellent scientists inside of mainland China would have already definitely made this a very important phenomenon to study. However, due to the ongoing propaganda, extensive propaganda, and Chinese Communist government did also use 1/4 of national income to persecute Falun Gong practitioners, to demonize Falun Gong practice, to suppress people to have a chance to have a clear understanding of the truth of Falun Dafa, Falun Gong. So, as a matter of fact, it was exactly because Dr. Tong Wen Wang decided to carry out the collaborative study with Dr. Lili Fan to confirm the preliminary data Dr. Lili Fan already obtained regarding the amazing system level changes associated with Falun Gong practice within Falun Gong practitioners' immune system. And the data of the immune system came out to be most shocking. The evidence that was reviewed, and it can be validated by further research, actually has the potential to completely change the entire current paradigm of modern life science. Why that is the case? Because if there is no single molecular drug or multiple molecular drug can cure the system level disorders, and all those disorders are actually now falling into the category that now is the risk population during the COVID-19 pandemic, global pandemic. So those chronic diseases actually fully manifested at the breaking down of the human immune system and autoimmunity. And these people, they actually always develop into the most severe case of COVID-19 symptom. And many of them died exactly due to their dysregulated, hyper, pro-inflammatory response and reduced antiviral response deviation in their immune system. Okay, so at the time, Dr. Tongwen Wang was more interested in the fact that cancer as a disease that are considered to be the never-winning Vietnam War by the most frontier cancer researchers, and including the Nobel laureate in the basic cancer mechanism study field. And among the Falun Gong practitioners, Dr. Tongwen Wang interviewed many previous cancer patients, and they actually are fully recovered. So as a cancer researcher, as an American Cancer Society scholar, Dr. Tongwen Wang chose to study the health benefit phenomena of Falun Gong practice and focusing upon the human immune system. And that very interest actually caused fear by the Chinese Communist government persecutors. So in the year of 2002, Gary Locke already sent Lieutenant Governor of Washington State to do a closed door 2-hour meeting with Dr. Gerald Nippon, the head of the research institute, the Banora Research Institute. And because of that meeting, and because of the following continuous pressure onto Dr. Gerald Nippon, and Dr. Gerald Nippon decided to order Dr. Tongwen Wang to totally stop the research program. A research program actually was already fully supported by the entire research center, faculty members, and presented to everyone in the research center, and were excited about. And the director considered that is a project that potentially will lead to Nobel Prize. So Dr. Nippon actually personally helped Dr. Tongwen Wang to establish a research team, including clinicians, and ready to do a longitudinal study, which is a time course study, and also certainly have control groups who does other holistic practice of mind, body, and spirit, like Tai Chi and yoga, and other forms of meditation. So the study was very well planned, and everything was in place and was ready to go when Gary Locke came in under the order of the Chinese Communist government 610 office, the persecutor. Okay, and that basically eventually leading to the shutdown of Dr. Tongwen Wang's lab at the end of 2004. And the detailed stories are presented at the website of the Whole Elephant Institute. And we encourage readers to follow and to read the whole story. But in any case, when Dr. Tongwen Wang was interviewed by the reporters of the mainstream media here in New York, when they asked Dr. Tongwen Wang why you are here to do the Chinese charter school, and why you want to do the Whole Elephant Chinese charter school, and what is the meaning of the Whole Elephant, and all that kind of questions, Dr. Tongwen Wang then shared with the reporter her journey as a frontier life science researcher, and the blind man touching the elephant, basically because the scientists only study a very small part of the entire human body, and they are focusing upon one gene or two genes, or one system or two systems, but never was able to see the whole picture of the human body life science. And through the cultivation practice of Falun Gong and Falun Dafa, Dr. Teng Wenwang gradually was enlightened to the truth that the human body actually is a universe. So with the approach of modern life science research right now, humanity will never be able to see the very intimate connection of mind, body, and spirit, and will never can imagine how the human body actually can be reprogrammed by a cultivation practice that is based upon improving human morality, upgrading human spirituality, following the nature of the universe. And when Dr. Teng Wenwang explained that the 5,000 years of traditional Chinese culture contains the profound wisdom of mind, body, and spirit, and the ancient science in China about the human body in the Dao School is extremely profound. And in the whole Elephant Chinese Charter School, Dr. Teng Wenwang would like to bring together the most frontier modern life science research discovery, and then the ancient Chinese science of human body as a universe in the Dao School. And Dr. Teng Wenwang mentioned that why actually her laboratory actually got shut down by the Chinese Communist Party persecutors, but through elected official, high-level elected official like the governor of Washington State, Gary Locke. And she realized how important it is to teach the children in America regarding the truth of the Chinese Communist Party's evil nature, and to develop immunity within the American society towards the metastases of a malignant cancer created by the Chinese Communist Party ideology. And so that report actually led to the Department of Education of New York State, the Charter School Office, the director, Mr. Cliff Chang, to very quickly dismissed the application that was considered to be complete under the excuse that lacking enough signatures. Now, why the other signatures were not present? Now it's become very apparent, right, to everyone that, as a matter of fact, everyone at the time was fully aware that anyone started to stand up for the persecuted Falun Gong practitioners, they also will become the target of persecution. So the enlisted board members, one actually was Dr. Teng Wenwang's graduate school advisor, Mr. Dr. Gillian Small, and the other was the most beloved and respected professor, Dr. Kelly Salmon, who was the professor who enrolled Dr. Teng Wenwang into the graduate school of University of Florida in 1988, when she actually didn't even see a transcript, a graduation certification from Shanghai Medical School, where Dr. Teng Wenwang was studying. And she enrolled her purely based upon her interview of Dr. Teng Wenwang on the phone, a 15-minute conversation, and also on the very fact that Dr. Teng Wenwang's TOEFL and GRE score were so outstanding. But it takes a graduate school coordinator's insight of a young talent, of an extremely outstanding young talent, to make such a decision, risking her own reputation to bring a young girl from the other side of the earth and from the communist China, and to give Dr. Teng Wenwang full scholarship, full tuition waiver, and also stipend. to allow Dr. Tang Wenwang at the age of 21 to escape the communist China to be able to pursue graduate school. And so a professor like that, can you imagine even Dr. Kelly Salmon refused to put down her signature? Yeah. So the third person is Dr. Tang Wenwang's mentor, postdoctoral mentor at Harvard Medical School, Dr. Patricia K. Donahoe. And it was Dr. Tang Wenwang who actually, through her novel discoveries in 1993, and then in the following several years, and continuously breaking starting to groundbreaking discoveries. And Dr. Patricia Donahoe was elected to be the Academy member of Science in America. And so, Dr. Patricia Donahoe also didn't dare to put her name, her signature onto the application. So Dr. Gillian Small at the time already was the Vice Chancellor of CUNY. Okay. So in every regard, this phenomenon is showing to American people that when you stand up to do the right thing and to tell the truth and